Now we're going to start with the default presentation board that comes with Big Blue Button. So this is what it looks like every time when you start up your conference. And if you don't notice it, there's little icons here saying that, and also you can actually zoom this. One thing you might want to do is if you're trying to do a lot of work is hit that big X button, and then it takes up the whole screen. So that's sometimes nice when you're trying to work on some things here. We'll go ahead and you've got all these tools. So the tools are, I can actually do text and say I wanted to teach you about probability. We'll do probability of A and B. Oops. Equals probability of A plus times probability of B given A if we're dealing with conditional probabilities. So I know you're not that interested in the formula, but so I just needed something in there. If you click here, you can actually adjust the size. So if you have your screen zoomed out, you might want to adjust the size of the text. You can change the color of the text. So anything in that text box, once you click out of it, it's pretty much set. Now you can get rid of it with the undo button. So if I click here and I wanted red text, okay, and I'll click red, and we'll see how it still shows Mrs. Overman on my icon, shows where I'm writing. Hello. Oh, sometimes you have to go back and change the color after you pick it. Whoops, no, I wanted red. That's right. I did want red. So there you go. You also have a drawing button. You have a hand button, so we can actually zoom this. Let me get out of this zoom here. Actually, I can zoom this in. So I can actually focus on little parts of the screen. That might come in handy if you're looking at a big worksheet or something, or some sort of map or whatever. You can, there's the pencil, and then this is just really simple stuff. Line segment, shapes, right? Voila. So pretty straightforward things, and it shows you which tool is selected there. And of course, there's your pen. Voila. This is undo, and that's trash. So if I hit trash, it clears the whole screen. And this is a very interesting button. I make sure my students learn how to use this button when we do breakout rooms. So what button is that? That means it's multi-user. So let me go ahead and come back to my normal size screen here. And I've got myself logged in on my Surface Go. So this is kind of handy because honestly, well, first of all, my handwriting is not fantastic, but it's not amazing either. So actually, since I have the tools here, I don't have to give myself presenter or moderator status. I should be able to. Let's see. Where am I? Our moderator tools, turn multi-user whiteboard on. So I haven't done that yet. And the reason I knew it is your students aren't going to be able to see these tools if that little button is not on. So you want to make sure it's turned on. And the way you can tell is now I'm on my Surface Go, and when I come in here, you can suddenly see, now you see my name, but it's actually for, here, that's fine. It's for my Surface Go, all right? It's not for, so I can do my pretty handwriting on my tablet. So if you want to, what you can do is you can get a separate device. I know a lot of you like to use your iPads. I'm Team Android. I have a Surface Go, which I adore, by the way. And you can actually be writing. Now, if I make myself moderator, and I'll do more stuff later, promote to moderator, then I can do things like I can actually switch the slides. I can take presenter and switch the slides around and be teaching from the tablet, even though I've got the camera here and this is like my main screen. So there are certain times I like having the main screen up here and being able to access things and load things from my computer, which I'm going to get to in just a second. So the other way you can adjust the screen, here I'm going to demote myself now, demote myself to a viewer, and take the presentation. There we go. Like I said, you can zoom. You can just use your mouse to do it, by the way. That's how I do it. I don't know if there's another way to zoom without the mouse scrolling thing. Oh, you could probably do it if you have like a sort of a pinch and go situation too. I can do it on my Surface Go, so I presume you can do it on your iPad. Okay, so then let's go ahead to uploading a presentation. I don't tend to use the whiteboard too much except in tutorials because we have so little time in synchronous that I have to have everything set to go, right? So I can upload a presentation. So this the default, is what you were just looking at, and it's the one that comes up every time. Now I can actually bring in more than one file, and I will. I tend to throw my files into like a folder where I know how to easily find them. Today, this is our training, so I'll just pick them up here. And I like to have it all set to go. Sometimes I'll even have notes of like links and things that I want to use. So here it is, BBB training, Overman, but I'm actually going to open this one up. You can choose to discard one if you want, and you can bring it back in. So let's say you wrote on something and wanted to get rid of it. You could throw it away and reload, and it would be back to new. All right, upload. Sometimes it takes a little while because it's converting the file. And one thing is, it seems to work better with PDFs. You should be able to do PowerPoint and possibly some other formats, but I pretty much just do mine from PDF. Now you're actually saying something else. Hold on. So I want to start a poll, all right? And you can do a yes/no poll. For example, do you think it's awesome that I'm dropping 2 daily grades for MP1? All right, so you can say yes, no. And what's going to happen, I don't know if you heard the little ding, but the students' screen, they'll see this little yes, no option. So they can just click on it, and there's a response. So one of the things I do like is that you can see the person. Now, this is the guest, and they always get to say what their name is. And I'll explain to you what a guest is in a little bit. But most of my students will actually show up like I do. You see how I have my Mrs. and Overman, and I'll see their first and their last names. You can see the response, and then if you publish the polling result, you can go through it, see it right there. All right. Now, one of my favorite things about this, to speed things up, because time is of the essence, is that I can pre-do my multiple choice questions on here. All right. So here's the problem, and then I have a quick poll. All right, this one is like, oh, it's A, B, C, D, E, so I can just click that. And then they're like, okay, I don't know, C, why not? And then publish polling results, and there you go. Now, notice this does take some space on the lower right part of your screen. So that's part of the reason this is looking pretty blank here, is we know that. And so we want to make sure that we leave some space so we don't cover up some critical part of the problem. Okay, I can also do a custom poll. So back to polling options and do custom. And I could say, let's say I explain the whole problem. And usually, honestly, for speed, I'll say, A, you feel awesome. B is and C, maybe kind of crappy about the whole concept here. So I'll typically do an ABC temperature check just so I don't have to type it. But you could say, oh, I feel awesome about it. I kind of get it. And I totally don't understand. All right, you better be a fast typist if you want to have these verbiage type of answers. Now, of course, I feel awesome, so I'm going to click awesome. All right, and then when I publish, the students can't see the polling results as they come in, which is kind of the thing I like. So even though multiple people have answered, you know how it is in Google Classroom, they could see how the poll was trending after they submitted. Here, they don't know. All right. So I get to build the suspense. So now I'll publish my polling results, and you can see if the multiple polls that you do are going to overlap as long as you're on that same slide. Now I'm wondering if I hit trash on this. Oh yeah. So if I hit trash there, that can get rid of the polls. So that can get it. I'll have to share that with Miss Wu. All right. Learning more every day. Isn't it lovely? Now, if you do even a custom poll, right? So you say start a poll, you got to hit start a poll. Well, here's a problem on my next question. I have A, B, C, D, E, F. All right. Now we discovered this by accident because we were doing quick polls and we forgot about the limit. Look at that. There's an F. So I can actually have up to 6 options on the polling. and I'll click an option there. There we go. And like I said, that this will sort all of the students by their response. So I make sure my students know that this is not an anonymous poll. I can see what they say. And not only that, if I am recording right here, it is actually taking statistics. It's recording their responses. So I can tell when a student doesn't respond to any of the polls I do in class. And it's just really great. And it does really help with the engagement. We kind of poll like crazy in stats. It helps us make sure the students are like alive. And in fact, some of the students have said that the polling helps keep them engaged. All right. So that's polling. Oh, then finally, sharing a YouTube video. Let's see if I have this. So you can hit share a external video. I find apparently it works with Vimeo, works with YouTube, and it works with a couple other formats. And it says on that big blue button slide what it works with. All right. So I'm going to put in a link for one of my lesson videos. All right. Now here's an important thing. It's going to start playing. Okay.
A farmer discovered his horse was extraordinarily
And they turned down my volume.
You could ask him an arithmetic problem, and it would tap out the answer with a hoof.
Okay.
Researchers were fascinated
now
and tested the horse. They discovered the horse.
There's a reason I muted myself. All right. Is that sometimes apparently there might be an echo if I talk over the video while I'm presenting the video. I don't actually present video lessons, although I will do it with you guys, too much, because the video, they can do that at home, right? And I'm just trying to keep the live interaction as much as possible. So you can pretty much share the videos. I hear it runs smoother. If you have a video, occasionally, you know how YouTube is, sometimes the video won't show up for me when I'm on campus, but it shows up fine for the students because they're not on campus. I don't know. So just make sure your video is vetted and that it'll work and that you can load it and see it. So that's pretty much it. The default presentation, like I said before. Oh, stop sharing your video. And I forgot to do another thing. I showed you how I could share the screen, right? So let me go back to that Chrome tab, sharing the screen. Well, one thing I want to make sure you know, so if I'm sharing the screen here, and then I want to share an external video, it should work still. I'm not sure if I have to stop sharing the screen. No, it'll share the video right away. All right.
A farmer discovered.
If you are doing a presentation, you do need to remember to stop sharing the screen. So I can just go to my default here. And see how I upload? I said the presentation, but I can't see it here. It's because I'm screen sharing. All right. And I'll hit cancel. Cancel. There we go. All right. So now we're back. And if you go to slide 1, there you go. And if you look at the video here, where is it? Webcam, screen sharing, poll your users anytime, emojis, audio. Somewhere around there, it showed all the different video types you could do. And I know Vimeo is one, and I just use YouTube because it works for almost everything.